So we've been having a blast this summer. However, our entire summer so far hasn't been all fun and games, as we've experienced several health concerns and unfortunately have unexpectedly had to deal with a loss. Lucy wants to share her health scare with you as an attempt to make everyone realize how precious life truly is and how nobody should ever take the time with their loved ones for granted. If you've seen Magic's video, you know she's been dealing with a stubborn abscess. Abscesses are not always as troublesome as tumors, but they should be taken very seriously. And if you notice any lumps, bulges, or bumps on your fur babies, then you should take them to the vet immediately. One evening the other week, I noticed Lucy was resting in her sand bath, but this wasn't too abnormal for her, so I didn't think much about it at the time. But when I came back into the room a couple hours later, she was still resting there, so I knew something was terribly wrong. I picked her up and took her sand bath out for a few days because I was worried she might get the sand up her nose or something since she appeared so weak. It was extremely weird and scary how all of a sudden, out of the blue, she had become so weak. I noticed she too appeared to have a lump just like Magic's abscess, only Lucy's wasn't on the outside of her cheek. It was like in the middle of her chest. Since I already had the medications handy, I gave Lucy some of Magic's pain medicine, which is also an anti-inflammatory, and I gave her some of the antibiotic that I had for Magic. It was a struggle for Lucy to take the medications as she didn't approve of being bothered, though she didn't mind being petted, but Lucy took the medicine. I put her back in her habitat to rest, and I prayed all night for her. When I went to check on her in the morning, she looked at me as if I were crazy for having been worried. Needless to say, we have been granted a miracle, which we're extremely grateful for. I had also left our vet a late night message, and she's been in contact with us for Lucy's care. We do not recommend giving your hamster any type of medication without first getting your vet's consent, and the only reason I had done so was because I knew what to give her based on what I saw from our experiences with our other fur babies, and I knew that the medications would not harm her. Plus, I was more than aware of what dosage to use. Abscesses can be quite painful, and the weird thing about Lucy's scare is that the lump has seemed to shrunken tremendously overnight. Yet Magic's abscess has been more stubborn. If your hamster has an abscess or a tumor, they may be able to have it removed if it's external, but if it's internal, it might be too late, as most internal tumors are found too late. Removal will depend on whether the vet feels like your hamster will be able to survive the surgery and make a good recovery. So there is much to consider before deciding to remove an abscess or tumor on your fur babies. I had discussed just that with our vet when Magic went to have her abscess diagnosed. Hamsters are so tiny, and it wouldn't take much or long for them to bleed out, which is extremely important to consider before deciding to put them through surgery. Surgery should really only be an absolute last resort, as any surgery for these little ones can be extremely dangerous, doing much more damage than good. Thus, we're choosing to use medications to treat our hammies instead, as they still can live happy, productive lives this way. We're very grateful that our hammies have been fortunate enough to not have their abscesses interfering in their daily activities. Anyway, we hope that all of you and your amazing hammies are doing well. Please check back for more about hamster care, and please click like, share, comment, and subscribe for much more. Thank you for watching.